right, here we are, Modern Classical Chefs. We're at Splitz Lounge in Maple Shade, New Jersey at Cocktails with Cooper. And I have a really cool guy right here, Jeff Schenk, a guy I met networking and got to know really well. And today I want to get him in the hot seat and pick his brain about food. But first, before we do that, Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I work for Absolute Home Mortgage Corporation, and I've been doing this for about roughly 3 years total. But mortgages, probably about 21 years. Licensed in 38 states or so. So I'm pretty prolific. I've been in the business for a long period of time. And the people I really look for are anyone going through life-changing events or people that are house poor, struggling with their home payment. I can consolidate their credit cards and their businesses and their current monthly payments in a way where it's going to make sense for them to do and save them a lot of money per month.
All right, good. Got to know a couple other things about Jeff too. He's an amateur archaeologist. And also, what, a drummer? You drum?
Well, I definitely was a musician for a while. I played harmonica, guitar, drums, and sang for quite a bit.
Well, doing all that must make you hungry, right?
Well, it sure does, and that's why I'm here.
What'd you like to eat when you were out touring with your bandmates?
Well, I wasn't
Tell
doing
me about this.
I wasn't doing a whole lot of touring. Let me just say this, but I do like fine wine, and I love good food. I really do.
What kind of good food? What's your niche? You like Italian? You like French? Like, what do you like?
I like Italian and French, but seafood is my jam. I really love seafood. I love sushi, but not only sushi, like shellfish, like crabs, clams, oysters, those types of things, shrimp. I love that.
Like halibut?
Halibut is delicious. If it's poached right and seared right, it's just fantastic.
Modern Classical Chefs does an amazing pan-seared halibut. Maybe Jeff should check that out sometime.
I might have to.
So, all right. So I've met your mother. I don't think I've met your father. Was your mom a good cook?
My mom is a decent cook, but my dad cooks the majority of the meals these days.
Growing up, did mom do the cooking or your dad?
They both shared the responsibility.
Really?
Yeah. My mom cooks well. There's certain things she does really, really well. My dad really has taken it to a new level, though, recently. And he really he does these family dinners for us, and they're just absolutely amazing. I'm really impressed by what he's done lately.
Well, expand on that. Like your mom, she did whatever, then your dad took it. Like, what did your mom do that your dad took to the next level?
Well, that's a good question. But my mom, the great thing she would do was basic chicken and dumplings. Good
like
comfort
in a casserole?
food. Yeah, good comfort food like that. But not only that, she was good with, just baking bread and things of this nature. But there were other things that she was good with macaroni and cheese, baked macaroni and cheese. My dad, I guess he's been really watching a lot of cooking shows lately because he's really getting into it and making some good country ham and some other things that are really like not typically thought about, and I really enjoy them. I love that he's really getting into it in his 80s. So
yeah, it's like the two of them, so he can like kind of do the cooking.
Yeah, and he loves doing it. So I think he loves making people happy like I do.
Tell me about some fails from mom or dad.
Fails.
Some bad dinners.
Bad dinners. Well,
that you still think about to this day as a grown-up.
Well, as a grown-up, right? I grew up in the 70s and 80s, so I'll tell you what, my parents boiled the living heck out of everything, like chicken, vegetables. You could drink the water and get the nutrients.
That's the way it was back then, right?
get more nutrients out of the water than you could the food, but they did that a lot, and they've learned from that, and it just was the way back then. You boiled everything.
Are you a single guy?
I am now.
Do you cook?
I do.
What do you do?
Sometimes chicken parmesan, sometimes chicken franchise, sometimes
nice.
tacos, sometimes this or that. You know, it just really depends. I like a little spice in my food, so I'm a little heat oriented with that. But I do make a killer chicken pineapple dish with black sesame seeds. That's a little spicy. That really works.
I think that's nice. That's nice. Tell me about the wine. You said you like to pair with wines.
I do. I
red wine or white wine?
Both. I used to be manager of a liquor store long ago, so I actually threw many wine tastings, and I know a lot about wine. So some of my favorite wines are Gewürztraminer for seafood, so to speak, or
white German wine.
White German wine, but if you do German, okay, it's a little sweeter. So you gotta like do French in the Alsace region.
Something a little
so it's a little
tart.
drier and a little more tart and a little bit better to pair with seafood, I think. The French version in the Alsace region.
So do you think with your wine expertise, you have a good palate?
I think I do. There are times when my palate doesn't discriminate as much as I wish it would. You know, I think that like when people taste wine, they have a palate and they can pick out a lot of different notes and things. I don't know if I could pick out every one of those notes. I really don't think I can. I'd like to think I could, but I do appreciate all those notes and things, but I wish my palate was more discriminatory.
So Jeff, I want to ask you one last question. Last meal, last day. Last meal on your last day on Earth, what's it going to be?
That's a tough one. But if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out hard. So I'm going to do a surf and turf all day long. Lobster, filet. Might as well wrap it up with bacon, saute it with butter, herb butter.
You going to have some wine with that?
Of course.
What bottle?
Chateaubriand.
This guy knows how to do it. He's going out in style.
I'm going out in style, baby.
So, all right, this is what we do at Modern Classical Chefs. When we're not cooking, we're talking about food. And thank you, Jeff, for being here. I appreciate that. If you want to reach out to us, modernclassicalchefs.com on the web, Dan at modernclassicalchefs.com by email, by phone, 856-332-5769. Modern Classical Chefs. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Dan. I enjoyed it.